What's up, y'all? It's Alexiana. Welcome to the Lexi Show. Child, why I look like somebody rich auntie right now? It's just some cheap wig I had bought like yesterday and stuff like that when I got paid and stuff, and I decided, to put this fit together. But what's up, y'all? It's Alexiana. Welcome to the Lexi Show. Now, judging by the title, yes, Mr. Tyler Perry, if you're watching this video, child, we got a problem. Not really, but I just want to say that. Okay, now, with Tyler Perry and stuff like that, if you don't know already and stuff like that, if you're a big Tyler Perry fan like myself, then you know he has one of the most #1 talked about shows on Netflix, Beauty and Black. Now, if you've never seen this show before and stuff like that, basically tells a story about this successful black family and stuff called the Bellarys. Again, that is pronounced Bellary. 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 The Bellary family and stuff like that. They run like this big giant empire, this big giant beauty empire and stuff like that. And yeah, like they are a slimy family and stuff like that. Like they stay getting in the shit and all kinds of other stuff. Like it's a very intense show and stuff like that. Like it's very intense. And yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell and stuff like that what the show's about. It's about a successful family called the Bellarys that run a successful beauty empire, and also about this girl named Kimmy and stuff like that. She's been through some rough roads in her life and stuff like that. She's a stripper. She's being pimped down and stuff by this man Jules and stuff like that. And she soon sees the light at the end of the tunnel and all that kind of other stuff. So yeah, that's what pretty much it's about in a nutshell. Now, I finished season 1. And I'm knee deep in season 2 and stuff like that. And speaking of season 2 and stuff like that, I remember I was watching and stuff like that. And so far I've watched 8 episodes and stuff like that. And Netflix and stuff, they had wrote and stuff like that. Part 2 of season 2 is coming out on March the 19th. Like Netflix, they had me fucked up. Here it is. I was knee deep in watching the damn season 2 season and stuff like that. And the shit was getting juicy and stuff like that. And y'all just gonna come out y'all ass and say part 2 of season 2 coming out? What the fuck? This bitch right here was fucking knee deep in the shit. And Roy fine as fuck. Like, there's a lot of male eye candy in that bitch. A lot of intense shit happening so like that. You don't tell me this, the fuck? But yeah, whatever. But anyways, I'm knee deep in season 2. Like I said, so far I watched 8 episodes. Part 2 of season 2 is going to come out March the 19th. I can't wait. But yeah, basically what I have wrote down and stuff like that on this list right here are some issues that pretty much stuck deep to my core and stuff like that I want to talk about. And we're going to get into it. Like I said, I love me some Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry, if you're watching this video, I love you. I love your work inside there. I love your movies. I love your shows. And I love me some Beauty and Black. Like that shit got me on the edge of my seat. But I just want to critique a couple of things. So let's get into it. 1, I want to address the way Horace Bellary has spoke to his son, Roy Bellary. Now, Horace Bellary, played by Rico Ross, basically he's pretty much, the ace boom coon, like pretty much the head honcho in charge of the Bellary family and stuff like that. He's pretty much made the Beauty and Black Empire what it is today. And he has these 2 sons. Roy, who is played by the fine as hell Julian Horton, and he also has another son named Charles, who is played by Stephen G. Norfleet. I think that's his name and stuff like that. And he's like me, out of the closet, openly gay and all that stuff. Not like me, dressing like a girl and stuff like that. But he's out the closet, openly gay male and stuff like that. And long story short, Mr. Horace Bellary hates his son to their core. He hates them. He's made it clear that he hates his sons, which is why, If you haven't seen this show, I hate to be a party pooper, but I'm just telling it like it is. Okay. He has made it clear, abundantly clear, and stuff like that, that he hates his sons and stuff like that, to the point where he wants them written out of his will and doesn't want them to touch none of his money and stuff like that when he's gone because, you know, they're losers. They don't know how to handle business, this, that, and third, and whatnot. And he wants them written out of the will and stuff like that. He don't want them to touch none of his fortune, which is why he married the girl Kimmy and stuff like that, played by Miss Taylor Polidare. I think that's her name. Yeah, like hence, which is why he's leaving all his fortune and stuff like that to the Kimmy girl and stuff like that, because, you know, he wants someone, you know, that knows how to handle business and stuff like that, that has their head on straight and stuff like that, to run his business and be in charge of his money and whatnot. And how Mr. Horace Bellery and Kimmy met and stuff like that, you'll have to go watch season 1. But long story short, you know, like I said, Kimmy, she was a stripper, she was an exotic dancer and stuff like that. And, you know, she had danced for Mr. Horace Bellery at one point and stuff like that. And, you know, they built up a connection ever since then. And bing, bam, boom, wop, bada, bang, and stuff like that. Mr. Horace Bellery, we find out he has cancer and stuff like that. And, you know, he's in the hospital and stuff like that. And while he's in the hospital and whatnot, he asked Kimmy for her hand in marriage and stuff like that, you know, so pretty much she could be married to the family, you know, be in charge of the business, be in charge of his money and stuff like that, because, you know, he don't want none of his sons to touch anything that he has. So yeah, Mr. Horace Bellery, you know, Ace Boon Cool, head honcho in charge, pretty much got Beauty and Black and stuff like that to where it is today. And like I said, he hates his sons to his core. Now, there is one scene in season 2 that really pissed me off, and I'm going to play it right here. Okay, y'all had just saw that scene. And when I tell you I felt for Roy right there, I felt for Roy right there. Let me talk about Roy Bellery right quick. His fine ass. Pretty much, okay, let me say this. I'm not talking about Julian Horton, the guy that plays Roy Bellery. I'm talking about the character. Julian Horton. I love him. But I'm talking about Roy Bellery, the character, because I want this video to get back to that man and they be like, oh, Lexi Monet on YouTube talking shit about Julian Horton. No, Lexi is not. Lexi is talking about Roy Bellery, not Julian Horton. Okay? I just want to clear that up because, you know, messy people be on these internets, but whatever. Anyways, yeah. Roy Bellery and stuff like that, in a nutshell, he fine as fuck and stuff like that, and he's married to this lady named Mallory Bellery and stuff like that, who is played by the beautiful as hell Miss Crystal Stewart. In a nutshell, he fine as fuck and stuff like that, and he's married to this lady named Mallory Bellery and stuff like that, who is played by the beautiful as hell Miss Crystal Stewart. And yeah, like, he's married to her and stuff like that, and, you know, he's not faithful at all and stuff like that. He's a cokehead. He a crackhead. Stay doing cocaine left and right. He cheated on her left and right. He cheated on her with Kimmy. Like, yeah, just not a faithful husband at all and stuff like that. Very dumb and dim-witted and stuff like that. Everybody's smarter than him. Like, he stayed getting in some shit. Like, yeah, he's pretty much a dunce. A lost cause, pretty much. But he fine as hell though. I got a big crush on him. He's my screensaver on my phone, by the way. But yeah, Roy is just not good person and stuff like that. Hell, nobody in that Bellery family and stuff like that is a good person. But yeah, especially that bitch Mallory. In season 1, that bitch Mallory had pissed me the fuck off and stuff like that. Ran over that man's wife and stuff like that. And didn't even bother to get the lady proper help. So just left her there to die. And then here come Roy ass driving down the damn private road and he hit her. Like, that's some fucked up shit, man. But anyways, back to Roy. Roy, overall, he's not a good person and stuff like that. Nobody in that Bellery family is a good person. And he a dunce, a dimwit, a crackhead. Like, yeah, he's not a very good person at all. But I do want to say this. I'm not a parent and stuff like that. But it's just, I cannot wrap my head around how a father can hate his own flesh and blood. Like, bro, those are your children. You helped make them. Charles and Roy. Oh, and let me drop some tea on this, auntie. Like I had said, Mr. Horace Bellery, he has 2 sons. He has Roy and he has Charles. Like I said, Charles, he's an openly gay male. And Mr. Horace Bellery has the audacity to be homophobic. Mr. Horace Bellery has the audacity to be homophobic towards Charles. But in season 1, might I add, Mr. Horace Bellery, you down low trade. You have a thing for the damn Dominican dude named Angel. He danced for you and everything, but you got the audacity to be homophobic towards Charles? Make it make sense. If we're going to be anything, let's be for real. If we're going to be anything, let's be for real. Please, sister, because, yeah. Got a nerve to be homophobic, but you got a thing for Angel. Bitch, bye. Anyways. It's like, how the hell, as a parent, can you hate your own child? Like, I cannot wrap my head around that. I just can't. And the way, like, if you've seen the show and saw that, the way Charles and Roy behave and stuff like that, you know, they both rich as hell and stuff, thanks to their father. They both rich as hell, got money, and all the kind of other stuff. They both kind of, well, they don't really help run the damn Beauty and Black Empire and stuff like that. But yeah, they both rich as hell thanks to their dad and stuff like that. They pretty much got anything they could ever ask for. They're spoiled rotten. They, they both do coke. Like, Roy got Charles beat, but they both do coke. And yeah, like, they're both pretty much not good people. But what I want to say is this. How did they get to the way that they are today? Like, learning first starts at home. And not much about Roy and Charles's childhood has been discussed yet, but I have a feeling later on in the season, so that whether that be season 2 or if there's going to be a season 3, 4, or 5 or whatever, I have a feeling secrets about their childhood are going to be brought to the forefront, because these men, they did not just become the way that they are today. They did it. Like, learning first starts at home. And that scene that I just played for y'all of how Mr. Horace Bellery was talking to Roy on the bed, like, that shit really broke my heart. Like, that goes to show you a good writer / director or whatever, like Tyler Perry, can make you feel anything, child. Man, the way I wanted to jump through that damn screen and knock the living shit out of Horace Bellery. Like, nigga, that's your son, your flesh and blood. You helped make that. How could you say you can't stand him and all that stuff? Like, when then when them tears was coming out of Roy's eyes and stuff like that on that bed, like, oh my God, I felt for him in that point. Like, even though Roy's not a good person, he pretty much a dumbass to deal with, that's still your son, bro. And the fact that you do not want your sons and stuff like that to pretty much take over your empire and you let it to a total stranger, like, that's some slimy shit. But like I had said, I want to question, like, how did Roy and Charles get to the way that they are. Like, I have a feeling, like I said, a lot of shit is going to be revealed about their childhood later on, because what I'm getting from this is like both Charles and Roy, they were abused and stuff like that growing up and stuff like that. Like, Horace Bellery really didn't give them the time of day, didn't really show them no love or care or nurturing or anything like that. And he used to abuse them like crazy and just threw money at them to shut them up. That's what I'm getting. Which explains why which is why, more so Roy than Charles, why they pretty much use drugs and stuff like that. Well, more so Roy because he's the older sibling, but which explains to me why Roy stays coked out and on drugs and stuff like that, because he's dealing with some sort of internal pain. It's like the little boy inside of him needs healing. The little boy inside of him needs nurture, care, and all that kind of other stuff, which is why, he acts the way that he does. Like, he acts like he really doesn't love Mallory or anything like that. He stay cheating on the left and right and all that kind of other stuff. It's like that mentality of, don't nobody give a damn about me, so why should I care, pretty much. I feel like he used that coke to pretty much hide his real feelings and emotions about what he's battling on the inside. I feel like Roy should go to therapy, go to rehab. We saw that later on in the season, and we pretty much get to, pick him apart and see why he's the way he is today. And, maybe he'll come out and see the light at the end of the tunnel. Who's to say? But yeah, I have reason to believe that both Charles and Roy has suffered some form of abuse and stuff like that growing up, because the way that they act, like, they didn't learn that behavior overnight. They just didn't become that way overnight. Like, something had to happen to build up to why they are the way that they are today. Which, mind you, let's be real, everybody goes through things and stuff like that from childhood on up. But you have the audacity, not the audacity, you have the ability and stuff like that when you get older to rise above it or let it weigh you down. And with both, well, more specifically Roy, not Charles, but Roy pretty much let it weigh him down to the point where, yes, he's rich as hell, he has everything he could possibly ask for, but you're still not happy. There's something inside you that needs fixing, that you use drugs to cope with, that hopefully in the later seasons we'll find out about. It's like the little boy inside him is hurting from the abuse he suffered at the hands of his father, and the love that he never got from his father and stuff like that, and he uses drugs and stuff like that to cope with it. You to pretty much cope with his feelings and his emotions and whatnot. Because I ain't gonna lie, like, you rarely see Roy sober. Like, he always coked out. Like, he's not always coked out, but the majority of the time he always coked out. It's like, bro, like, get it together, why don't you? And let's talk about Charles real quick. Like I said, Charles, he's an openly gay male like myself. Not like me. He don't dress like a girl or anything, but yeah, he's an openly gay male and stuff like that. And yeah, Mr. Horace Bellery and even his Uncle Norman and stuff like that, like, which is played by Richard Lawson, they be giving him a hard time for being gay and stuff like that too. Like in season 1 and stuff like that, when Norman had found out somebody had ran over his wife and stuff like that on the private road, he had the audacity to come in there and call Charles a fruitcake, this, that, and the third. And Mr. Horace Bellery and stuff like that took Charles's phone and had read his messages and stuff like that, blaming his ex-wife Olivia and stuff like that about, oh, she's the reason he's the way he is today and blah, 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 and stuff like that. And I said all that to say this. Like I had said, you want to criticize your own son for living out loud and living in his truth, but yet you download Trey and you got a thing for Angel. Angel danced for you and everything. Yeah, make it make sense, honey. If we're gonna be anything, let's be for real. But like I said, a lot of shit is getting ready to hit the fan. It already has in both season 1 and 2. But if I can make an assumption, I have reason to believe that possibly, Charles was messed with when he was a child. Well, I don't know. I just simply just feel like, he was messed with as a child. I just have reason to believe that though. And yeah, like how Roy was sitting in that bed and stuff like that, like how he was crying, just looking up at his father, saying those hurtful things like, I can't fucking stand you, this, that, and the third. And yeah, by the way, let's talk about how Roy had ended up in the hospital. Basically, in season 1 and stuff like that, Hurricane Kimmy came in full effect because I remember some bitches in the club and stuff like that ended up kidnapping Kimmy's little sister Sylvie and stuff like that. And girl, did that send Kimmy in a blind rage, girl. Like, I remember she had killed this girl named Body. She killed this girl named Delinda and stuff like that. And I remember she had went to Roy's little hotel and stuff like that pretty much for answers as to where her sister was. But even though Roy was coked up and stuff like that, like, he genuinely did not know what she was talking about stuff. And she went crazy. They got into like a little tussle and stuff like that. And she ended up pushing Roy out the window and stuff like that, which a balcony had caught him and stuff like that. And, he was rushed to the hospital. And yeah, pretty much in season 2, Roy want to get his lick back for that. But like I had said, how Roy was laying in that hospital bed, listening to his father talk to him like that, like, bro, seeing them tears come down his eyes, like, that shit hurt, bro. Like, come on, man, that's your child at the end of the day. It's like, oh my God. Like I said, a lot of shit is going to get revealed very, very soon. Like I said, I have reason to believe they suffered abuse at the hands of their father growing up. And he just threw money at them to shut the hell. He pretty much threw money at them for them to shut the hell up, pretty much. Without no love, support, or guidance or anything. Like, money does not take the place of love. Like, I don't care how hard you squeeze money and hug it, it's not going to hug you back. Like, they pretty much grew up with money, not love, and that's pretty much all they know. Like, pretty much the reason they treat a lot of people like the way they treat them now is because they weren't taught how to love. Like, we don't know how to love because we were not shown love. We pretty much were shown money, and that's all we know, pretty much. Like, I have a feeling once they acknowledge that and stuff like that, once they acknowledge like their pain and hurt and stuff like that, I have a feeling that both of them will be A-okay. And they'll come out of all of this, like the coke use and the way they treat people and all that. I reason to believe maybe that might happen, maybe not, but yeah. Like, especially like I had said, like how he pretty much put Kimmy in charge of his empire as opposed to his sons because he says they're quote unquote losers. He can't stand them, this, that, and the third. But my thing is, sir, like, if you can't trust your own family, who can you trust? Like, yeah. There's a lot that's going to be revealed. Trust and believe. And I remember when I had watched the clip of, the hospital scene where Roy was getting yelled at and stuff like that by his father, him saying he can't stand him and all that kind of other stuff. Somebody had left a comment that had me thinking. And the comment read something along the lines of, Roy and Charles could possibly be Norman's kids and stuff like that. And that's why, he holds resentment towards them up to this day. Which, like I said, if you didn't see the show, I'm so sorry. But basically, Norman and Olivia, which is Mr. Horace's ex-wife and stuff like that, Norman and Olivia and stuff like that, they messed around back in the day. They had messed around back in the day, right on the horse's nose and stuff like that, and they both had acknowledged it and stuff. And I have reason to believe that maybe, just maybe, both Roy and Charles and stuff like that possibly be Norman's kids and stuff like that. And maybe maybe she had possibly had got pregnant and stuff like that, and she really had cheated on Horace with Norman and stuff like that, and she came back home, saw that, found out she was pregnant and stuff like that, and lied to Horace that Roy and Charles was his children and stuff like that. Come to find out, he later found out that both Norman and Olivia had an affair and stuff like that, and he held resentment towards Roy and Charles ever since. So maybe, just maybe, that is the case. I don't know. But yeah. All right, next subject. The fight between Rain and Daga. Now, in season 1, Kimmy has his friend named Rain. And Rain pretty much, at that point, before, Rain and Kimmy saw the light at the end of the tunnel, which I'm going to get to. Before they saw the light at the end of the tunnel, saw that, they were two strippers being pimped out at this strip club by this man named Jules and stuff like that. They were staying in this ghetto, crazy ass motel and stuff like that. And Rain, she was up in arms about that, about wanting to get a BBL and stuff like that. And a lady named Body had told her, there's this girl named Daga who could, hook her up. Give her, off-market BBL and stuff like that. So Rain had went to the motel and stuff, and, they got her a little drunk and stuff like that, and pretty much pumped a lot of, crazy shit up inside her and stuff like that to give her a BBL, but it didn't work. She was rushed to the hospital and all the kind of other stuff. And in season 2, okay, first let me say this. Like I said, in season 2 and stuff like that, Kimmy and Mr. Horace, they grew tight, they grew close and stuff like that. And pretty much, Mr. Horace had added Kimmy, her friend Rain, and his little boo thing Rain. He had added Kimmy, her friend Rain, his little boo thing Angel, and Kimmy's sister Sylvia and stuff like that to his will and stuff like that. And not only that, he marries Kimmy and makes her the new boss of Beauty and Black. And yeah, like I had said, they pretty much saw the light at the end of the tunnel. They pretty much got their foothold in life now. And pretty much Rain pretty much still had a little chip on her shoulder and stuff like that, about, what she had been through with the BBL with Daga. So pretty much she has the limo driver and stuff like that, take her to the strip club and stuff like that. And while she's at the strip club, she meets this little young 18-year-old Spanish girl who pretty much was in the same boat that Rain was in about wanting to get a BBL and stuff like that. And Rain pretty much was trying to play along like, oh yeah, girl, like so-and-so can hook you up, ABCXYZ. So Rain comes to the motel where the little girl is about to be pumped with some illegal shit and started to give her a BBL and whatnot. And ironically, the same person that pumped Rain up with the illegal shit to give her a BBL was Daga, who was played by Miss T.S. Madison herself. And yeah, like, pretty much long story short, a fight ensues and stuff like that. And the Asian man, which was the driver and stuff like that, he's pretty much an assassin on the low, and he kills Daga, and he also kills the person that Daga was with and stuff like that. And pretty much Rain gives the little 18-year-old girl some money and stuff like that for her, to get on the next bus back to her hometown in Alabama. And I said all that to say this. The fight between Rain and Dega, I hate it. I hate it. Like, it hurts. It hurts me to my core because T.S. Madison is a transgender woman and stuff like that. And yeah, like, for lack of a better term, I hate to say this. I really hate to say this and stuff like that. Do not cancel me for saying this, but a man pretty much is beating up on a woman, and that's not okay. Like, I just don't like seeing that, you know. Now, clearly, I know it's just a TV show. I know possibly that was just a stunt double, but I just don't like seeing men beat up on women. I just don't like that shit. Like, that was just in poor taste, in my opinion, with Tyler Perry. Like, that little fight scene, I just don't like that. Like, you have a biological woman being attacked by a transgender woman. Like, it's not a fair fight. Yes, you're trans, but you still have male strength, and yeah, that is just not okay to me. Understand, if you're watching this video, people of the LGBTQIA community, please do not cancel me. Please do not cancel me at all. I am just expressing my opinion. One man's opinion means nothing. I'm just one person, okay? But yeah, that's just that on that. Like, I just didn't really like seeing that. And last but not least on the list, we're going to talk about Charles and Barney's relationship. Now, we're going to be talking about Charles again. And Charles, you know, he's in this, you know, pretty much DL relationship with the family attorney, Mr. Barney something, who's played by the fine as hell Terrell Carter. You might remember him from Diary of a Map. You might remember him from... Sorry, y'all. That was just a trade hit me up. But whatever. Where was I at? Yeah. Now we're talking about Charles again. And Charles pretty much is in a DL relationship with a family attorney who is played by Terrell Carter, his fine ass. Like, you might remember him from Diary of a Mad Black Woman. He was the preacher, you know, that was singing and stuff. He also played in that play called What's Done in the Dark by Tyler Perry and stuff like that as one of the doctors. Like, yeah, he's been in a lot of Tyler Perry's plays. But yeah, he plays in this show, so like as the family attorney Barney something. And pretty much, he's pretty much down low trade and stuff. Him and Charles are in a secret relationship and stuff like that. And yeah, they're pretty much in like a DL relationship and stuff like that. And pretty much, you know, Charles pretty much wants, pretty much for lack of a better term, wants Barney to come out of the closet and whatnot and pretty much be out loud and proud with it. But, you know, Barney just, you know, doesn't want to do so. But fast forward to season 2, Roy pretty much invited himself into Charles's house unannounced and pretty much heard both Barney and Charles getting it on and pretty much confronted him about it and whatnot, and ended up telling Mallory, he ended up telling Miss Olivia and whatnot, and yeah, like, yeah, pretty much a lot of people have found out, and it kind of sort of was a mess, but anyways, yeah. Even Mallory had clowned him, like, I remember they had went out to dinner and stuff like that, and Mallory had said she's been trying to hit on him for the longest, but it makes sense why he's not interested in her because, you know, he's gay, he's into Charles and whatnot. But whatever. Even though, like, you know, he's kind of trade DL, Varney really does care for Charles. But Charles is too blind to see it. And it relates back to what I had said earlier in the video, how both Roy and Charles were not taught how to love because they were not shown love growing up. They were shown money, and that's pretty much all they know. It's like we weren't shown feelings. We weren't shown emotions. We weren't shown how to love because we didn't receive that growing up, so we don't pretty much know what it is. And you have someone like Varney that's showing Charles real love, and it's like you're just, pushing him away pretty much instead of, pulling him in, which I can understand because that relates back to what I had said, about, Varney being Trade and DL, stuff like that, and not wanting anyone to know about them, which that has something to do with it too. But still, Charles, you have someone that really genuinely loves and cares for you and has your best interest, but yet you're just steady, pushing them away. Which with Varney, like, dude, you might as well just come out the closet now because Roy found out, Mallory found out, Olivia found out. It's a matter of time before Norman and Horace find out, and that's gonna be a big old mess. So, child, you might as well own your shit now. And if anybody got a problem with it, fuck them. You can then freely love Charles out loud, then. So, yeah. So all in all, like I said, this is not to bash Tyler Perry. These are just some things I just wanted to get off my chest. I hope I made sense in this video. I felt like I was rambling, but whatever. Anyways, a lot of shit, whether it be later on in season 2 or season 3, 4, and 5, I don't know. But a lot of shit is getting ready to hit the fan. I can feel it. Old girl Kimmy, she's got the power. Like, she is in office. I'm talking like she run for president. She is in office. She is the new boss of Beauty and she is the new boss of Beauty and Black. Like, she got all that bukus of money thanks to Mr. Horace. Like, she done already shook some shit up now, but she's getting ready to shake shit up even more. And I can feel it in my bones, bro. Somebody's gonna get fired. Hey, hey. Like, I feel it. Not Kimmy, but somebody that worked in the Beauty and Black place, but whatever. A lot of shit is gonna get ready to hit the fan. Like, I feel it. A lot of shit is getting ready to hit the fan. I feel it. A lot of secrets are gonna be exposed. Like, yeah. So, yeah. That's just about it for this video. Like always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to insert my social media handles over here as well as description box down below. So feel free to add and follow me on those. So until next time, peace out.